Hey guys, welcome back to some more streams. And today I'm going to be
Yeah,
having another show. I almost said reviews, so
you
used to
did.
it. But I'm with my buddy here, Colt. Colton, the guy. He did an awesome wrestling stream earlier. I actually streamed the same exact time. I'm not even kidding you guys. The same second that I started streaming, he started streaming before.
It's like the wrestling gods planned it.
Right, and then my other friends started streaming, and then my other friends started streaming. Like we were all streaming at the same time. I was like, "Oh my god, how did we plan this?"
It's the way, the truth, and the lights.
Yeah, we were talking about all kinds of stuff in the other streaming. Like we are going over our favorite eras, our favorite decades, our favorite superstars. I definitely want to try and get you on that show one day because they do it fairly early in the day. Not like early. Like they started it around I think 8 or 9 or something like that.
In the morning?
No. Like a couple hours ago.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, what the heck? That's a little bit too early.
Yeah, but they started around like 8, 9, or 10. So no, we stopped at like 10. So they started at like
Yeah,
earlier, like around 7 or 8. So I
yeah,
definitely want
join.
to get you on there one day because I think you can be that guy. Because there's me and one other guy who kind of still watches it, so you can kind of join that stream and be like, we can all talk about like the newer stuff.
Yeah, try to get them back, I guess. But
Yeah, but how you been, man? I seen you were streaming earlier. You had made a lot of good points, and I was salt that I wasn't able to join, so I wanted to get you on here. But how you been?
uh, pretty good. You know how it is. Just living life, Larry.
Yep.
Just chilling. But yeah, like I want to get you on for a little bit at least because I know how you are with it because you're just as passionate as I am with the situation, and I want to get your thoughts and everything about it because I know how you are and how much of a respectful person you are with like wrestling and how you try to find the good stuff in it and you're not like how everyone else is where they'll take something from a show like Raw or SmackDown, and they'll pick that one thing up and put it in a basket, and then they'll nitpick it to why SmackDown was bad or Raw was bad or NXT was bad.
Yeah, I try not to do
You
that. Try to be fair with it.
you take that, you criticize it like you should, and you go, okay, that was bad, but here was the good stuff. Here was another good thing, and here was another good thing. Here was an okay thing, and here was another bad thing. But overall, the show was good.
Mm-hmm. Would you say
Like
that
you
Raw
don't.
this week was better than SmackDown for a change?
Uh, Yeah, I thought this week's Raw was better than SmackDown's for sure.
It's crazy, man. That Raw was really good. I didn't get to watch all of SmackDown. I watched the Kevin Owens and Jey Uso match though. It was pretty good. But
I told you the headache earlier.
yeah, that's it's pretty bad, man. I don't know I think maybe miscommunication there. Maybe they didn't
I
know what they
don't,
were doing.
I don't know, but whatever it was, don't do it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say wrestling wise, Raw was 10 times better than SmackDown. Story wise, SmackDown is still better than Raw because they're still, focusing with this Roman Reigns head of the table thing, and him facing Kevin Owens is going to be really interesting, and face Kevin Owens against the heel Roman Reigns is really going to be interesting because we've seen them fight before, but the roles were reversed. We had a face Roman against the heel Kevin. So this
Mhm.
time it's flipped and it's going to be interesting.
I like Kevin Owens as a face.
I think he's better at face.
Yeah. It's pretty cool that he can pull it off on both sides because he can be like a sympathetic face and then like a really make you hate him heel.
Right. Um, but yeah, I thought SmackDown.
Roman have similar styles too, so it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought SmackDown I thought it was pretty good. But
Yeah, that's true. Alston, super welcome to the stream, man. I'm gonna be getting to your request soon, my guy. I know that it's been a minute, but I've been really busy. I'm hoping to watch some movies tonight sometime, so I'll definitely get to your request soon. But yeah, I heard some things about SmackDown. It was just Raw. I thought Raw was just really good pacing and like had that like intensity to the matches and stuff like that.
Yeah, like that Matt Riddle and Sheamus match was brutal to open up Raw, basically.
You know what I'm hoping doesn't happen on Raw though? I'm really hoping this doesn't happen next week. Is that they have a triple threat for the number one contender spot, and I think Keith Lee might win that. And they have Keith Lee and they have Braun Strowman come back and attack Keith Lee. And then they say, well, Braun, you want a match? Keith, you want a match? You guys face off, and they'll have Braun beat Keith and then go on to face Drew McIntyre.
I don't feel like they do that because they protect Keith Lee.
Yeah. It's either going to be that or he's going to beat Sheamus or he's going to beat Riddle. I think, personally, Keith Lee is going to make it to the finals. And then Braun's going to beat Keith Lee because Braun's facing Drew. That's the plan, that Braun is facing Drew.
Mm.
So we'll see how that plays out, but I'm hoping that doesn't really happen.
Dang. Ohio State's game just got canceled with Illinois.
Yeah, because Ohio State guys have COVID.
Yeah, that's not good.
Thanks, Alaskan. You're gonna get a better review tonight. It's gonna be really good. So I hope you enjoy it. It's definitely on that Wolfman level and Creep Show 3 level. It's pretty bad.
Oh, it's a Creep Show 3 level review?
It's bad. It is terrible.
Oh my goodness, I get to have a freaking heyday tonight.
Yeah, you're gonna love it, man. It's gonna be entertaining.
Oh boy.
I've seen.
But so I want to ask a couple questions real quick. What do you think he needs to do to better themselves so more people can watch it and just something that they can do a little bit better?
I mean, honestly, right now there's not too many problems. But if I were to look for some, I would say WWE's main problem is they really need to start building characters again, start building storylines again, which they're doing. They're doing it, but they gotta make sure they keep it consistent and make it interesting, and not. And the key is to not drag on rivalries for too long. I was into the Elias and Jeff Hardy storyline, but I feel like it's being dragged out too long, to where I'm like, Now, that Rey Mysterio storyline and Seth Rollins, I loved it until it went on for a little too long, and I was like, But I do think that WWE is trying their best with what they have right now. It's just stuff like I wish they would do, make it more character based, more storyline based. And really fix Raw, which luckily Raw wasn't that bad this week. It was actually really good. But Raw needs to really start. I don't know who's writing Raw or I don't know who this writer is that's going from Raw to SmackDown, but they need to find this person and talk to them because you can tell whenever it's bad. You can tell when this person is writing shows because you can literally see here's one show, here's another show, point out which one has the bad writer. It's like, oh, over here, So find that writer.
Left.
But besides
the left
that,
one,
WWE is pretty good.
I feel like they can do another thing is shorten Raw to SmackDown hours. I feel like having Raw from 8 to 10 would be fantastic. Yeah, just 8 to 10 and have SmackDown 8 to 10, have NXT 8 to 10. All the hours I think are perfectly fine. And it's just with Raw 8 to 11, it pushed it because people got work the next day. People, they don't want to stay up that late. Some people might just be getting off work and probably don't want to watch it because it's like, oh, it's 8 o'clock. I'd rather just be in bed or something.
Right.
I just feel like to shorten the hours would be a very good thing with Raw. SmackDown, I don't know what y'all are doing this week at least, but
yeah, right.
Let's not get too close to Raw writing. Let's just go back to how you were writing it. But Another question.
Start using
I
Aleister
think.
Black, please.
Oh, jeez. I heard he might get fired.
Yeah, me too. I heard he's gonna get released soon.
I
God
heard because
damn
of
it.
they don't know how to use him. I'm just like, have him go out, kick someone's head off, boom, that's how you use him.
Exactly.
And then put him in a rivalry, not with Kevin Owens.
I kind of wanted to see him and Seth Rollins have a rivalry.
I want to see him and Seth, him and Roman, him and Uso, him and
Buddy.
Him and Buddy, well, they already had a rivalry.
Oh, oops.
Him and
Fiend.
Him and Owens would be interesting.
Can you imagine him versus the Fiend, two dark characters?
That would be interesting.
He's the one man who doesn't fear the Fiend.
He's the one man that see. This is where they screwed up, in my opinion, with the Fiend. They could have had the Fiend this dominant character and not have him lose to Goldberg and whoever else he lost to. I think Roman. But they could have had him just destroy the roster, and then Aleister pops up, and he's like he does the little, like he comes up like with the little, and he's like, "You didn't pick a fight with me," and the Fiend's like, "Let me in." He's like, "I'll let you in." He opens the door, and he goes, "Poof." He's like, "Come on in, Fiend," and like you can just see it going so good, and like have Aleister beat the Fiend, and then he kind of goes a little crazy, and then he kind of joins forces with him. Imagine that team: Aleister Black and a Fiend. Oh my goodness!
Last time I seen Aleister Black, he has a good look to him right now. Like he's really angry. I love his new music. I love how he's got a more angry vibe to him. He's much more of a rage-filled Aleister Black. I'm like, good. You created it. Now use it. And they didn't use it at all. It literally ended in like one of the most lackluster ways ever. I was just like, really? And then they were like, oh, we're just gonna draft him to SmackDown and just leave him in the background. I'm like, dude, use him. He's good. Like everybody is asking for you to use Aleister Black, and you're not using him. And it's just like, what is going on?
Don't know talent if it smacks him in the face.
It's crazy. And even when he first debuted, like they really weren't using him that much, and it was like, guys, EC3 debuted. Why don't you have him? And then they put him and Ricochet in a tag team, and I was like, huh?
I was the only one who liked that because it was different, because they were different as a tag team. You had a high flyer and you had a freaking brute as a tag team. Like a freaking, I wouldn't say brute, but like a martial artist as a tag team.
Yeah, true. But they did it because they were in the Dusty Rhodes Classic, I think.
Yeah, they won that in NXT, and then they got caught on the main roster at the same time. So they kept them as a team, and then they kind of just separated them real quick. Ricochet got the better treatment, and then Aleister was getting good treatment, and then they both went to Badsville because Vince don't know talent.
Well, I heard like an interview, he only likes like a handful of people on that roster. He doesn't like anybody else.
He likes, I don't know how true that is, or like how much of like who he said, but I know he don't like Andrade and Aleister, and it irritates me because those two are the most talented people you have on that roster.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Vince, you need to A, get yourself up out of that chair and leave, or B, put them back in NXT where they'll get used.
Right, and there's certain guys in that show. I would say that's one other problem. If you don't have anything for them to do, just do like what happened with Finn. Leave him in NXT, put him back in NXT.
Here's the thing that's going to irritate you.
Put them somewhere else. Don't just keep them on the same show and not give them anything to do.
Here's the thing that's really going to irritate you. When Zelina got fired, he threw out an idea that, put me back in NXT. He basically said, you're not going to use me, put me back in NXT. They denied his request.
Wow.
Why on earth would you have a talent like Aleister Black or hey, Bob the Raptor comment.
Bob, The legendary Bob the Raptor. What's up, my guy?
But why would you have a very talented person in Aleister Black, Ricochet, Andrade to have them shelf for no reason? And you know what else is going to irritate you?
What's up?
They just did a dream match on main event.
What was it?
All things. Ricochet versus Jeff Hardy.
Oh, shit.
On main event.
Why would you do that on there?
Because Vince don't know how to book his show.
Whoever's booking that deserves a job in the main roster.
No, I'm telling you right now, if I can find a way to watch main event, oh my good lord. I already know there's two bangers on there with Ricochet and Ali going at it twice. Ricochet versus Jeff Hardy is about to be freaking, it probably was a banger.
I don't know. It sounds amazing, man.
Like, I will never understand why you don't use your talent. Like, it's like, imagine us. We only have like a handful of people. Imagine one of us just coming every Saturday and doing nothing.
Right.
Like, that gets boring. You just want to be like, hey, let me show my talent. I've shown it in NXT. Apparently, you don't watch that, Vince. But
You're telling me that Vince looks at Aleister Black and sees nothing that he can do with him.
No, yeah. I can strongly see that with him, Andrade, Ricochet, and Apollo. I honestly, I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna make a lot of people mad. I don't think Vince wants to push Big E.
I don't think so. I mean, it's weird because like it started out as one thing and now it's leading to another thing, and I don't like where it's going. I want to see Big E have a serious main event push because I think he deserves it. You know.
And I don't think he's gonna get it. I don't think Vince wants to do it.
Limbo. He's in this weird New Day-ish type thing where he's kind of solo, but he's still part of the New Day somehow, and it's not working. Like I'm not liking it. I'm like, you either go all the way or you don't do it at all.
Who, Big E?
Yeah, he's in this weird New Day. Like he's part of the New Day, but like not really because he doesn't see Kofi and Xavier. He's like the lone.
He's like that positive big man out of nowhere.
Yeah, I was just like,
he's me basically. He's a positive version of me.
I mean, I like Big E. It's just if you were gonna break him away from the New Day to be solo, do something with it, not just let him sit there backstage and to talk about New Day. I'm like, it's just not working for me personally. You gotta really hone in on what you're doing right now. You know, if they want to make a.
I'm reading Bob's comment. Oh my god!
Yo, what? Yo, when he is drunk, my guy, he is hilarious.
Oh, is he drunk?
I don't know, but I know when he is drunk, he's crazy. He's awesome. Like one day I do want to have Joe on this stream because he is amazing.
That's awesome.
Bob's amazing too, but Joe's he's awesome.
Everyone's amazing when they're drunk.
Right.
But yeah, man, it is frustrating watching as a fan, you know, of all these people and they don't get used and like, you know, and then he has a soft spot for like these people that we don't really want to see get pushed, like Brock Lesnar or Randy Orton, Nia Jax, like all these people. I'm just like, man, use your talent, man. Like that's the only thing.
They want to push Lana too, and I'm like, stop pushing Lana.
It is difficult. I'm telling you, I still feel like with our being how smart we all are, if we were to book, you know, a Raw, well, not book, well, yeah, book a Raw or SmackDown, I feel like Vince would hate it because we would give those guys like chances to show what they're worth.
Right. Well, like there were guys in that battle royale. I was like, oh, well, there's Chad Gable.
Justin,
Justin Gabriel, I'd be like, holy shit. Justin Gabriel. Out of nowhere. Nah, but like Chad Gable, him and Dominic had a good match. I seen Humberto in there. I was like, hey, there's Humberto Carrillo, you know. We haven't seen Mansoor in a while. A lot of guys we haven't seen in a while. And then Angel Garza's doing this weird new gimmick where like he's holding roses and into the camera and be like, I love you so much. It's like creepy. Like what?
And Vince likes him over Andrade.
I think they're both awesome. I think they're a great tag team. That's why I never got why and they didn't even break them up. They're just kind of like split up, you know?
I think Andrade is a little bit more talented than Angel, but I still find them both very talented. But another question real quick.
Carlillo. I really like Humberto Carlillo. He's really good talent.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's very talented as well. But we got another question for you. As a wrestling fan that we all are, me and you, we've seen the good days, we've seen the bad days, we've seen the awful days, we've seen the fantastic days. What is something that I'm gonna have to bring out the elephant in the room because everyone on my channel knows how I am with it. I want to give your thought. I want to get your thoughts on this other company. What is something that you dislike about AEW?
Wow. Here we go. Shit.
Make the most angry, young Padawan.
It's not. I just think that it's a trend, man. It's a trend in pro wrestling, and most people will sit there and they'll watch it and they'll call it the greatest thing ever when they're doing the same thing sometimes WWE does. And they'll call out WWE for it, but they won't call out AEW for it. And
right.
I've had AEW fans, say that you liked Survivor Series. So I put that as I like Survivor Series this year. It had some issues, but overall it was really fun. And they were like, how dare you like this show? How dare you like WWE? Like, how could you? And then, like, I've had before where I've reviewed other pay-per-views and them being like, you don't know what you're talking about. You call yourself a wrestling fan. You don't know anything. Like, I don't know what's up with that. And it's just like, I don't get why it's a hostile thing. Like, why can't we like AEW and WWE? Why does it have to be so hostile sometimes? But I'd say the main thing I don't like about AEW and why I don't watch it that much is just there's not a lot of story going on right now. There's not a lot of characters. It's just more about spots, more about just the straight up wrestling, and I like that. But after a while, you need your storyline, you need your characters, and I feel like they really need to define that stuff right now.
Not to cut you off, but apparently Strowman's injured.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, apparently at Survivor Series he got a knee injury. We don't know how bad it is or what, but I guess it's kind of bad.
Wow. Well, I guess then that means somebody else will on the face Drew. I think it'll be Keith Lee personally.
Mm-hmm. But we know AEW is a thing, and we give it the respect that it deserves. But question that I feel like I want to get your answer on because on my channel I was discussing it. Why do you think wrestling fans are so toxic to each other and just so negative with each other to the point where it's like you don't want to watch it anymore because it's all negative because that's why you stepped away.
Right. I'm not sure
about that. Why can't we like AEW? Like we can't just Star Trek and Star Wars.
Right. It's like there's so many other communities that I've been a part of that, people will be like, oh, I like, for instance, people were like, I like zombie movies more than slasher movies. And I'd be like, all right, but we don't get into an argument over it and, have these people throwing out threats and people throwing out like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. It's not like that. We just kind of go, oh, I prefer zombies over werewolves. I prefer vampire movies over this, or I prefer slasher movies over that. Whereas with wrestling, it's this really hostile thing, and I don't know why it is. It's this mentality that wrestling. I think what it is since wrestling fans know what terms are and how how stuff is run and how things are booked. Wrestling fans know so much that sometimes it makes them think they know everything and that they could do it better. They want this certain level of performance. They want to see a 5-star match every time they turn the TV on, and it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. There are some people who just expect perfection every single time they watch something, and it's not like that. And I feel like it's much better not being like that because then it surprises you and you find out something new, something different, and you get surprised and you enjoy it. I just think that certain wrestling fans, not all, but certain wrestling fans just, why I just don't get why it's gotta be a competition type thing.
I'm sorry I laughed at Bob's comment.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I agree, man. It's just like it's just I don't know why wrestling fans. I think it's just like I said, people they know the booking terms, they know how stuff is done, and so it makes them they're entitled to it.
They think that they're smart with it.
Right, and they break it down all the time. They break it down. It's like, dude, just watch it. Sit back in your chair and watch it. You ain't got to break it down and dissect every single segment on a wrestling show.
When I tell you some of these wrestling fans dissect too much, I was in a full-on argument with a wrestling fan, and this man took a match and dissected it because they did moves either too slow, not correctly, they either did it too fast. I'm like, well, since when is there a speed limit on moves?
Exactly. There were guys out there
and I was just like,
it was too slow, and I was like, what?
He literally was like, he gave me a headache. I was just like, dude, you make no sense by just saying this move is too slow. What do you want, to be super fast, super like medium speed? Like how, like what is there with speed limits and now with wrestling? And
right,
if anyone hates that match with Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25, I would want to smack someone. Okay, that match was picture perfect story, picture perfect entrances, picture perfect match, and picture perfect ending. There was nothing that match did wrong. And now, like you said, these wrestling fans are getting either very ballsy or very like needy to do this. They'll go back and rewatch the old stuff and they'll criticize it. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, you criticize this match, you're getting smacked. Okay, this match was perfect. There was nothing wrong with it. Nothing could be done wrong. The match speed I thought was fine, and that match was the reason why I got into wrestling. We saw
epic match right there.
We watched the Raw. Me and my mom did. Yeah, we watched the Raw. Me and my mom did, and we didn't know much about wrestling. We went to the library, rented wrestling movies or like wrestling pay-per-views, watched them, loved them, and we watched WrestleMania 25, one of the best WrestleManias I ever watched, and Jeff Hardy versus Matt, freaking fantastic. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, fantastic. Triple H versus Randy Orton, fantastic. Everything about that WrestleMania was fantastic. And then, people want to criticize it and say it's the worst WrestleMania because Kid Rock was there or Santino won the women's battle royal. Like the littlest stuff. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, criticize all you want. I don't care.
It's like
But
you
say you hate
the show is 7 hours long almost, and you're criticizing 2 minutes of it.
Like that idiot Mark JD or whatever his stupid name is, saying he rather drink a beer than watch WrestleMania. All right, drink your beer and don't watch wrestling then, you big freaking Mark.
I remember that one day I was over at your house and I was just scrolling through, and every single video was like, I fucking hate Raw, I hate WWE. I was like, oh my God.
And there was one where I gave him the respect because he said, this isn't a, I hate the show because of the wrestlers, or I hate the show because of this. He said, I respect everyone in that ring. This is a video to Vince and the writer. I was like, why can't more people be like you?
Right.
Like, why can't more people be like you? Like, explain to me why you have to be so negative with everything and we a-holes with everyone about everything.
I mean, do you have any theories on why the wrestling attitude has changed over the years?
I have two theories.
It wasn't like this. Man. I don't remember people being this hostile about wrestling.
I think I have two reasons. One is when the Attitude Era left and the Ruthless Aggression Era left and they had the PG era begin, everyone fell out because it wasn't the same. It didn't feel violent. It didn't feel like how it was. So people then begin to leave and they begin to complain because they wanted the blood back. They wanted the violence back. They wanted the divas back to where they would get stripped down half naked. And WWE was like, we can't do that anymore. We have kids watching. We have programs to impress that weren't there back in the Attitude Era. So that's why they weren't like that back then, because they didn't have Make-A-Wish back then, or they didn't do it. They didn't do the area events they did back then like they do now. They changed to a more family-friendly thing because, let's face it, blood and gore with wrestling can only get you so far. It's
Right.
not like horror where like, oh, you expect it. Like, okay, yeah, blood and gore, yeah, that's a horror movie. We can watch that when the kids go to bed, or we can watch that with the kids because it don't have the scene in it where like mom goes, hide your eyes. You know what that scene is. We've all had it happen.
Yeah.
But you can't get so far with cussing and blood and having your divas stripped down half naked and cut like violent stuff on TV, because eventually would have stepped in and said, hey, look, you guys can't do this no more. We can't support this. We can't do this. So it had to change, and people didn't want it to change. People, some people who stayed adapted to it. Some people who left and then came back didn't adapt to it, completely hated it. And to those people, it was like, okay, I give you the respect of not watching, but I don't understand how blood and more violence help you like wrestling more than it is now, because back in the Attitude Era, there was no story. Like the only thing I can remember with the Attitude Era is Stone Cold and The Rock, and Mankind and The Rock. Those are, and Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, and like Undertaker and Mankind. You don't remember every single thing back in the Attitude Era. You remember the big things.
Right.
Same thing with the Ruthless Aggression Era. As much as I used to hate it, I went back and was like, okay, this era was probably the perfect era in wrestling because it had the story, it had the wrestling, it had the characters, it had everything basically. So I feel like if they could have kept that Ruthless Aggression era and then moved up with it, just made it more PG, I don't think it would get a lot of hate on how it gets. But as I said, they can't keep doing blood like a lot of blood, a lot of violence, a lot of cursing, a lot of like the strip stuff. Eventually, like I said, the network would step in and say, "Look, you can't do this anymore." And my other theory on reason why it's becoming so hostile. Well, let's look at the elephant in the room. AEW. AEW comes along as this cool little wrestling promotion that everyone's like excited for. You know, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so cool." And yeah, pay-per-views were good. The shows are all right, but it's not the best thing I've ever seen. I've seen TNA shows better than AEW. I've seen New Japan better than AEW. I've seen WWE better than AEW. And these fans who were lifelong ruthless aggression attitude era fans went to that and sucked a hold onto it because it was violent. It is violent. It has its blood. It has its like gore. And they don't really care about their women. It shows with their matches. And, you know, people gravitated towards that and said, I like this better than WWE because WWE's too PG and don't care about what I want. So they went over here and they're getting all hyped up. They're getting what they want. But eventually, TNT is going to eventually say, look, you guys can't play this anymore. You can't wrestle like this anymore. You can't do this stuff anymore. And they're going to have to change up like how WWE did. And it's going to cause trouble for them. Worse than WWE because it's going to probably kill them how TNA got killed. Because TNT already wants a certain amount of numbers that they need. They're not getting those numbers that TNT wants. So they've already threatened to shut them down. But, they'll get a little spike and it saves them, but then it goes right back down. And it gets another little spike, goes right back down. And again, it's gonna cause problem because eventually it's gonna get flagged. People are gonna the network will step in because of how violent it is, how the words are, and they will get hurt more in the long run than anything else. And I don't want it to happen. I don't want AEW get canceled as much as everyone probably thinks I do. I don't because I want all these people like Darby Allin, the Lucha Brothers, the Eddie, whatever his last name is, Pac, all these people that wouldn't really success or get screwed over by WWE to succeed on a high level because they need to. And, I just feel like Cody and Omega and the Young Bucks need to stop taking shots at WWE and learn to adjust like how WWE did because eventually that hardcore stuff's going to come back and bite you.
Right, and you can't you can do it occasionally, but you can't rely on hardcore stuff all the time. It's just not going to be marketable. And I agree, man. I think it's just since there is this brand new thing, it kind of gives people the chance to go, I thought this was better because it's the competition, and I want to join it because it's cool. And not every single AEW fan's like that, but.
I don't mean to sound like that if I did, but there are
no, you're
fans that do like just every type of wrestling that are like, yeah, I love WWE. Why? Because I do. It's not because of you or me. I love it because I love it, and I love AEW. I love TNA. I love New Japan. There are people out there that just love wrestling in general. Like how I try to be, but at the same time, kind of can't because when you sit there and criticize WWE for doing something stupid, and then AEW does it, or TNA does it, or New Japan does it, and you turn a blind eye, I got a problem with that because that's showing favoritism, and you shouldn't do that. I've called out WWE multiple times. They're stupid third-party streams. Zelina getting fired because she had an OnlyFans for cosplay. The way that they treat their talent backstage, the way that they do all this. That stuff has to change because it's going to kill them in the long run, just like how I say, not obviously took them out of business, but it's going to cost them future talent, future indie stars that are going to want to come here because we'll see, I can't stream. I don't want to go there. I'm not going there.
Right.
So it's just a messed up situation sucks because I would love to see Darby Allin come to WWE because I feel like he has been honestly not like mishandled a little bit. Not he obviously he didn't have like the best thing, but like remember how we complained about how not Darby. Well, yeah, Darby's one of them, but so I'm gonna tell you something I figured out. Remember how we complained about how Rusev got sold, his merch was selling, and Vince never pulled the trigger on him?
Yeah.
Well, AEW had the same thing just happened to him.
What happened?
Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy's merch was sold out. He was over thing for a little bit. You know what they did? They had him in a rivalry with Chris Jericho, where the winner, the only way to win is to throw someone in a pool of orange juice.
What?
You're telling me that man, who is the most over thing right now, had to be in that match instead of a world title match?
Right. What?
At least WWE gave Rusev a chance.
Right.
AEW didn't even give Orange Cassidy a world title match.
That's crazy, man.
And it shows. I hate to say it. Business is business, and we criticize Vince for that a lot. But look what happened in AEW. They had a dude selling merch. Everything was sold out. Everyone wanted to see him as world champion. They didn't pull the trigger with him. I didn't see anyone start to complain as much as they did with Rusev.
Yeah, right.
Because again, it's the same problem. You turn a blind eye with this company, but if this company screws up, oh, they gotta hit it. Like Fox. Fox screws up, it's just Fox. Disney screws up, oh, we gotta have their head for screwing up because Disney's a family-friendly thing. I know you hate Disney and everything, but like it's the only example I can think of.
Yeah.
Like it is though. You gotta admit, WWE is Disney because if Disney screws up, there's so much hate to where if AEW screws up, like Fox, they're getting nothing.
Right, I agree.
It's
like they're the most mainstream wrestling promotion ever. So it's like obviously people are going to target that because they're the biggest. That's why no matter what WWE does, they will never get accepted because it's like what CM Punk said to John Cena, you're a dynasty. Well, WWE is that dynasty, and they're just so big and so corporate that no matter what they do, WWE won't get over as a company. And I don't know why. It's like that, but I think it's just because of how big they are. And sadly, people will always, unfortunately, have a very negative look on it. And I don't really see right now because they've given us everything we wanted. You know, the Fiend is back in the picture. You got Drew McIntyre back as champion. You got, on SmackDown, you got a good Roman Reigns and a good storyline going on. You've got guys getting put over finally. You got Jeff Hardy actually doing stuff. You got, you got a lot of stuff going on. Keith Lee actually being used. There's a lot going on in WWE right now, but people just aren't getting into it. And sadly, the ones who pay for that are the champions because if nobody's watching Raw, that's why they bring back Brock. When the Raw ratings are low like that or when SmackDown's not doing good, they bring back Brock. They bring back Goldberg. They bring back someone from the past. And it's like, sign. That's why I don't like it whenever, WWE starts hitting record lows because it's usually when they bring back Brock Lesnar and stuff.
Right. And that's the thing, like, to the fans who want change, they try to give you change, but then you don't show up for the change, and then it screws you up.
Yeah, and then we got to deal with Brock Lesnar's champion for 8 more months. It's like, oh my God, like it was literally the same thing would happen every single time. Someone would beat Brock, and then Brock would come back whenever stuff not going very good.
Right. There's just so much awful things. Like, no matter what everybody does, it's like, you suck, you're negative, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck. It's like, bruh, give it a chance.
People are like pretty pissed off now because they don't want Drew McIntyre as champion, and they're talking about how they're burying Randy Orton.
You cannot. Okay. Question. What is your thoughts on the word buried, job, or jobber in wrestling? Because ask you first, and I'm gonna freaking rant for a couple minutes because I'm about to eat people alive real quick.
I'm just gonna say this: just because someone knows the word job or jobber doesn't mean you put it on every single match where someone loses. Okay, being a job or jobber is different than just taking an L or taking a quick L. You know, jobbing I think is one of the most overused terms in wrestling, and so is the term mark, and so is the term buried. Those are some of the most over terms because once again,
As I
people think that since they know what it means, they can just throw it around. It's like, no, man, like,
as I screamed at someone being a mark.
right. It's like,
Well,
dude,
we were one,
we
so
get
at
it. You
least
know what? We get it. You know the word buried. So what? You know,
at
you don't get
least
wrote and everything.
at least when I say it, I mean it because JD is a big wrestling mark. You have to admit,
Buried 24/7. You don't say, "Oh, Keith Lee got buried, Randy Orton got buried, Drew McIntyre got buried." Like, relax, people.
I don't
I
go to a
think that
wrestling.
it's just being overused, man.
I don't go to a random wrestling fan and go, "You're a mark." I'm not like that.
Right.
JD is a mark. We all know this. He does it for attention and all that crap. So that's why I call him a mark. He is a wrestling mark. So is a lot of other people not getting involved. But those words have been butchered by the wrestling community. Buried and job are the worst two, in my opinion. If someone loses one match, they are buried and they are jobbed within seconds. Even though they won 5 in a row and we're looking strong, and they lose one match and they're like buried and jobbed immediately. Immediately in wrestling, like you cannot sit there and if Keith Lee wins 8 matches in a row, loses to one match to one pin, everyone's like he's buried and now he's a jobber. I'm like, you people are stupid. You need to not bury this word. A jobber is someone like Ellsworth got beat and left, or just showed up and got beat majority of the time. You buried is something that Triple H did in 2006.
Right.
That's a burial.
Or Ultimate Warrior buried Triple H.
That too. But you saying those words to a wrestler who got one loss needs to stop. If only exception is if they are on a losing streak to no regard. Like the last one they got was like 2 years ago. Then you can say they're a jobber. You can say they're buried. But for the love of everything, if one person gets pinned in one match, do not sit there and say, he's a jobber, he got buried. No, he's not. He lost the match. Do you expect everyone to win in everything? Yeah. Rant over.
What one I want to ask you? What's your thought on people being champions? Do you think everybody should be a champion that comes up from NXT?
Say that one more time. You were a little bit quiet.
Do you think that everyone that comes up from NXT should be a champion? And like, what's your thoughts on them being world champions?
A world champion or a mid-card champion or what?
World champions.
Everyone coming up from NXT should not be a world champion, people. I'm sorry. Lince Dorado is not a world champion. Grand Metalik is not a world champion. I hate to say it, Cesaro is not a world champion.
They've given guys world champions before. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they get called, if an NXT guy gets called up, their goal is not to be like Finn Balor when he got called up. Because when he got called up, good Lord, everyone expected everything. He got everything, and look what happened. He got hurt.
Right.
I'm not saying every NXT talent's going to be like that, but you put so much pressure on, let's say, Aleister Black to go out there and put a 5-star match with Seth Rollins at SummerSlam, and if he doesn't deliver, people are going to call it out and say Seth should have won, or he gets hurt, then he can't defend the title, or yada yada. They need to work their way up. They need to start off. This is how they need to book NXT people. Start off, give them a feud with a strong name like Sheamus, Randy Orton, someone who has a name. Have them work with that person. Have them win. Have them lose, and then have them ultimately win a pay-per-view like Keith Lee did. Have them win, and then have that rivalry end, and then they move up to another person, and they move up to another person. Then they face for the mid-card title. They win, they lose the first time, then they continue the rivalry, and then they win it. And then they have a decently good mid-card run. And then if you think they can handle the world title, have them go after people like Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, big names, and the people are loving it, put the title on them.
For champion, world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, do that. That's how you book NXT people. Start them from the bottom and make them work their way up.
Well, the reason why I asked you that is because there's this really popular thing going on where everybody that comes up from NXT has to be a world champion or they're going to get buried.
No. If you have a mindset like that, you're dumb. I'm sorry, because no. You don't sit there and say. You don't sit there and say, "Oh, good Lord, they didn't get pushed to the moon. They're buried." No, give it time.
People don't get the belt is just like a part of something. Like it's just used to get a guy over or used as a part of a storyline. The belt won't make you automatically, magically a good champion. You got to make it a good championship run.
The belt doesn't make you. You make the belt.
Exactly. And I guess most wrestling fans think that the belt makes a person the champion, makes them on that level, and it's not like that.
No. They make that belt. Roman Reigns is making the Universal title good. I almost said Brock Lesnar. Drew McIntyre is making the world title good.
Not Goldberg?
Heck no. You just gotta realize
versus the tribal tattoo.
People just gotta realize some things. You cannot expect everything within the night.
Right.
You gotta build, you gotta do what you gotta do.
That's true.
But another thing I wanted to ask was to get your opinion on what is something that AEW fans need to realize when it comes to wrestling.
When it comes to wrestling, that first of all, it's all fake. It's all predetermined. It's all entertainment. Don't take it so seriously. But I think also there is a lot of good pro wrestling fans. It's just there's a large portion of people that are just so critical of it, and they analyze it.
It's like WWE fans. There's a lot of good WWE fans and there's a lot of good AEW fans, but when you go and look at comments and go on in chat, and you talk to these people, most of these ones that are super negative, super mean, super whatever, are the ones to reply to you and to reply to everyone and just make them not want to watch wrestling. That is the problem I've realized.
I mean, that was a big reason why I left before, because I got tired of just so many people, hating on my opinion. Like I couldn't share anything without getting hate for it. Whether you liked or didn't like something, you get hate for it. And it became like one of those things where I was like, all right, I'm not going to share my opinion at all now. And I kind of went silent for a while. And, it became really hard to be able to share an opinion about wrestling because then everybody get upset with you. And it's just like, I don't get why it has to be like that. Like, I think that you should be able to share your opinion on anything. and
Right.
not have to worry about getting attacked for your opinion and getting death threats and stuff. But I don't know why certain wrestling fans are just so like, I watch their videos and I watch their streams and I listen to what they have to say, and I'm like, just can you loosen up a little bit? Maybe have some fun. Don't be so down on wrestling. Like, you're watching it. Have fun. Loosen up a little bit. Don't be so critical of it, you know?
Exactly.
But I don't know, man. It's just I wish that certain wrestling fans wouldn't tear it to pieces and analyze it and take it so seriously. It's wrestling. Watch it, enjoy it. Be taken into another world. It's a fictional thing. It's helped to be escapism, you know?
Exactly.
They're doing everything they can to give you what you want. And if you keep changing your mind, they're gonna keep changing the show.
Mm-hmm.
I just miss it where like we could all like, cause like, you know, that was the cool thing about all of us getting together and watching Survivor Series. It felt like the old days where I could get with some people and not have to worry about, you know, opinions and whether someone hates something or not. You know, you were able back in the day to sit down with the friends and just watch wrestling and be like, wow, it's so cool.
Mm-hmm. Nowadays, some of those bad.
I don't see any spots. They're not wrestling very good tonight. There's no spots. Like, doesn't have to be.
Like, let's be honest, it's not gonna satisfy everyone, and that's totally fine. But please, that's what I said on my stream. Please give the performers the respect that they deserve.
Yeah.
You know, give these men and ladies the respect that they deserve.
I can't believe I've seen some where people are like, I could wrestle better. I could do this and this better. It's like, okay, then do it, you know?
Let's see you in that ring getting talked to by Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns. Let's see how bad they criticize you, because you are not going to do better than them.
Right.
Like, that's the thing I can't stand with some wrestling fans, is that they say that. I'm like, okay, why don't you get your nuts and take them to that ring and put them in that ring and then see what you got? Because you're going to be tapping out and you're going to be like, I can't do this. I don't know how they do that. Shoot, even on the trampoline.
Hello?
Like, did you lose me?
Sound like that did for a minute. You got cut off.
I said it's even harder on the trampoline, to be honest. Like, it's not easy. Like, you get hit, you get hurt. You know, you took the knee. I got punched in the face.
It's wrestling, ain't ballet.
It ain't ballet. It ain't ballerina. It's hard, and I give everyone the respect that they deserve, because you know what? There's going to be days where, like, it's hard.
It takes a toll after a while, man. They're sacrificing their bodies for our entertainment, you know?
Yeah, like, they're going to be sitting there, like, at the age 50 or 60. Like, I can't even move at this point.
Sadly, that's how a lot of wrestlers end up, man. The arthritis and stuff from the bumps and stuff you take.
Yep.
It's a very hard life to live.
Indeed.
But I feel the same way, man. I got a lot of respect for the guys who go in there and sacrifice their bodies and work hard and pay their dues. It ain't easy.
It ain't easy being cheesy.
Exactly.
But it's just hard, man.
Yeah. But if I was going to ask you, because I know that you got some big plans for AEW next year, what do you see happening with AEW? Where do you see it going? And who do you see becoming top dog? Who will grab the brass rings?
Who will grab the brass rings? I can see a lot of us. Honestly, I feel like this is probably going to be our best season.
Yeah, you excited for it?
Oh yeah, I'm big time excited for it. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I've been having an itch to get back in there, man, ever since the season's ended.
Oh yeah. I've been wanting back in immediately.
By the way, are we posting that episode tomorrow?
I think. No, is it? I don't know. Let me look.
I think
No,
that last show was to build towards Lights Out.
yeah. Hold on. Let me look. Let me see. Let me look at the.
If it is, that's awesome. You guys check it out. It's gonna be great.
Oops. Crap. Where the button at? I think I watched the video. No, I did not. Subscribers. We have one more show than the pay-per-view.
Oh, okay.
Unless he's on. No, maybe no. I can't remember if he's doing 3 or 2 shows to
He said it'd be sometime in December when that gets posted.
Then I think we got one more Monday than the pay-per-view.
Oh, okay.
What? That show, our latest one, blew up. It's got 317 views
I know. I seen that.
in 4 days.
It's been getting good reviews too. Everybody that I've talked to, they loved it. I've had like 7 people that I've talked to say they really enjoyed it.
It has 15 likes and no dislikes.
Oh crap!
And then the one with you after Doomsday has 202, and then Doomsday has 243, and then the show before Doomsday has 215. Building the Doomsday has 237. Your Retirement has 334. Climb for Life has 208. The show before Climb for Life only has 172, so that one kind of flopped, but oh well. Then 201 and 205 and Strike of Justice is at 326.
Dang, I figured Climb for Life would be up there in the views.
Yeah. New Beginnings is almost at 700.
Yeah, New Beginnings gonna hit 1K eventually.
Oh yeah, I see New Beginning definitely hitting 1K, and I can see Pride or Pain hitting 1K too eventually because it's almost at 500.
Oh crap!
I think New Beginnings had what, 1 dislike? Yeah, 1 dislike and 16 likes.
Yeah.
So many like.
I feel like what we should start doing with our pay-per-views, instead of just uploading the pay-per-views, we should start premiering them.
I feel like that would be an issue though because of how premiering is.
Yeah, it would definitely lessen the quality.
That and we were watching someone like on that stuff, and their quality was bad.
It was like blocky and stuff.
I was like, "What the frig is this?"
Yeah. What's your plan with Riley Patrick next year?
No, I got some good stuff happening. I can't go in too much in the detail, but it's gonna be good.
You got any new approaches you want to do to your character? You want to start working on some things? Do you got anything in mind?
Definitely promos. Promos are gonna be my big thing, and just getting better in that ring, man. It's definitely gonna be a good thing. I'm excited.
Who are some people that you haven't faced yet that you're really excited to face?
Nathan Max, but sadly he retired.
For now. You don't want to face Tyson Rex?
Or Tyson.
Go with the feeding grounds.
Well, I pretty much faced everyone, so the only person I would want to face is either the new guys. So Definitely some of those new guys if we can get them.
You never faced Justin.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, definitely want to face him.
You didn't face Justin. You never faced Micah.
We have to realize something. Micah's gone, buddy.
No. I was gonna say you haven't faced Solomon, but you have.
Yeah, I lost.
Because of me.
You screwed me out of so much.
It's for the greater good.
It's for the greater good. But yeah, man, I'm excited for next season. I feel like next season's gonna be really good with all of us there. Having us all go crazy and just have fun with it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll be a really great year.
I feel like you're gonna have some good moments, I think.
Yeah, me too. I think it'll be a very shocking year.
No, you don't tease me like that. Don't tease me like that.
It's gonna shock the world.
Bye bye. But
There will be many new
yeah.
faces in AEW.
Oh yeah, so many new faces.
Brightest.
So yeah, man, I'm excited. I do want to thank you for having me on the stream. Really appreciate. We need to do a stream eventually. Me and you on your channel about Friday the 13th, because that's the one franchise I've watched every single one besides the remake, but I've watched every single classic one.
Oh yeah, I'd love to, man. Kind of rank our favorites, least favorites, talk about the franchise overall.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to, man. Thank you so much for being on the stream, though. It was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, don't mention it. I love getting to talk with you and just seeing how my brother's been. Hopefully you can come with me to help move with Isaiah stuff, because it's gonna be super awkward.
Yeah, I'll definitely let you know, man. I hope I can.
I'm gonna be sitting there like, "Hi everyone, I'm just the friend.
He's like,
I'm the one friend who helped."
so how's it going?
Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh man." Everyone's gonna look at Isaiah like, "Dang, you only got really one good friend." I'm like, "Dang."
Be like, oh.
Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, come on." I'm like, "Hey, I'm the only one who showed up." They're like, "Hey, Nate said he was gonna try, but Nate had a appointment at 12."
Very special appointment.
It involved Oscar
And Corey.
It involved all the Asians.
Corey, Io, and Oscar.
Yeah, all of them. But yeah, man, I just want to say thanks for having me on.
No problem, man. Thanks for being on. And thank you guys so much for watching. Anyways, that'll be it for the stream. Colt, thanks so much for being on. And thank you guys so much for watching. The Explorer 4 is out. Have a good night. And peace out.
See ya. Bye. The stream was ended. Oh,